When I started working, the reason why I started working, because I had the choice to like go back to school and get me like a second, because I was pretty young. I was less than 20 at that point. So I was like, okay, do I go back to college? Of course, at that point when my dad died, we had like a financial crunch. It wasn't like the way it was, where I could afford private schools and all that. All that came to an end, right? Because at that point, my mom was not like working as much, or actually she wasn't even working at all. So it was a struggle. So I didn't have a choice but to start working, like I said, before I was 20. I got a job. And then while I was working, the company did like customized gifts, which is pretty weird because Amazon is still kind of like a customization of, products. So I started out when I was 19. I was working for the company and I realized that they were doing those gifts, but I realized that I could also do that. So I learned that pretty early, and I was getting like contracts on the side while working with them to supply, gifts as well. So I was customizing gifts. I was selling them. I actually registered a company at 19. That was my very first business. I did customization of gifts. I was making my own money on the side while working for the company. So that's where I got my first taste of how businesses run. And it was pretty successful at 19. I was doing pretty well. And then at a point, I went to college. I went with my husband while I was in college, got married, and then a couple of years after marriage and having had 2 kids in Nigeria, my husband won the visa lottery. And at that point, we sold everything, like honestly, from the scratch. We had to start all over. We sold our house, we sold everything we had, and we got on a plane with 2 suitcases. And then we migrated. Totally scared, not sure what we're going to do, we had a plan, of course. We knew where we're going to stay. We're not going to be homeless, of course, but no actual plan that, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're just going to like, okay, when we get there, we'll figure it out, right? So we got here in 2009, I believe, or did I say that wrong? Yes, 2009. We got here 2009 in July. We came here with a 3-year-old and 11-month-old. So we got here. I tried to find a job because back in Nigeria, while I was working, I left, of course, the customized gifts company, and I was working as a HR manager. I was managing like a team of like 10, 20 people. So I've always had that business experience. I've always had that management skill from a very, very early age. So I was doing that. So when we got here, I was like, okay, it won't be a big deal. I'll just go ahead and find a job in human resources, right? Just lock into my skill that I know